privilege Allah has given us to serve His deen, to do the works of the prophets of God and earn a prophet's reward. We are not taking it. Somehow things have gone wrong with us. We are not doing our job. The Arabs, our ancestors, the Arabs, your forefathers, centuries back, they happened to be traders. In the sailing boats from these areas, they went out seeking the sustenance from Allah. Doing business, when you do business, halal rizq. So they went to India, they went to Indonesia, they went to Malaysia, they went to the east coast of Africa, they went to the west coast of Africa. And wherever they went, they took with them Dinullah. They were not missionaries. They were not missionaries. They were business people, but they were good Muslims. Their very lives were an attraction to people. My forefathers in India were Hindus. I come from the west coast of India, Bombay province, Surat district. In Surat, there is a river passing through, and your forefathers used to come there to do business, to barter their dates for our muslin cloth, our turmeric, our tamarind, and take it somewhere else and barter that for something else, business. But in the process, my ancestors coming into contact with your ancestors, finding them good human beings. They didn't know about Muslims, good human beings. So he said, look, we'd like to be one of you. He said, very easy, give your hand. So they gave the hand. Say the Shahada. So what's that? Say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. They said it, they uttered it. So you're a Muslim. From now on, you mustn't drink, you mustn't gamble, you mustn't do this, you mustn't do that, you mustn't eat the pig. So right. You must make salat. There's the house. So come, I teach you. This is how you make wudu, this is how you make salat. They converted us. And from my youth, from my childhood, my father used to make me to reverence the Arabs. Whenever we saw the Arab in this garb, my father would go and shake his hand and kiss them. And I also did likewise. He said, had it not been for these people, we would be still worshipping men and monkeys, elephants and snakes, and many other things besides, which I can't even tell you. That the urine of the cow would be our purification, our scent. You can't imagine. Your forefathers, they saved us. Wallah, may Allah reward them. They went on their business to the east coast, and they converted the people. On the west coast of Africa, they converted the people. They reached as far as Mozambique. In their tradings, they went as far as Mozambique. They didn't go beyond to South Africa. Maybe they didn't know this. I suppose the type of people that were there at the time, they couldn't do any business with them. No trading, nothing that you can bargain with them. So they didn't go that far. They went as far as Mozambique. The Portuguese, some 500 years ago, with the superior gunpowder, they overpowered the Muslim who were in charge, who were the governor of the place. A Muslim by the name of Musa bin Baik was the governor of that territory, East Africa. So they knocked hells into the man, they got rid of him, and they sat in the position. And because they couldn't say Musa bin Baik, they said Mozambique. That's Mozambique. It was the territory of the Arab governor, Musa bin Baik. Like Jabal Tariq, they can't say Jabal Tariq, they say Gibraltar. Muslim territory, Musa bin Baik. They did the job. Now, we happen to be there in South Africa, and South Africa is a very rich country. It is the richest piece of real estate land mass in the world. Oh, I'm not here to sell South Africa to you people. I know the Abu Dhabi people, they send a delegation there, and they want to do business with the country. I say, mashallah, we want our brothers to come over and do business. Prosperity for themselves and prosperity for the country. We are happy. But now, we Muslims there, we didn't go as businessmen. We didn't go to do business there. We, the Muslims there, we are 500,000, by the way. Half of this 500,000 originate in the Far East, in Indonesia and Malaysia. The Dutch, 300 years ago, when they conquered Indonesia, Those of our brethren who are fighting for their freedom, they were captured as prisoners of war and shipped to the Cape of Good Hope and sold to the white men as slaves. When the British conquered Malaysia, those of our brethren who were fighting for their freedom, the freedom fighters of the time, they were captured. When they were captured as prisoners of war, they were shipped to the Cape of Good Hope for the white man, and sold to the white man as slaves. For 300 years, they have been hammered. They had no religious freedom. They couldn't even make salat. In secret, they kept their Islam. In secret. 300 years of hammering failed to change them. And they have come out. That 300 years of hammering, either it softens you into jelly, or it makes you hard as steel. These people have become hardened, as hard as steel. They happen to be one of the most militant Muslim communities in the world today. If they have the means, they can sweep Africa for Islam from Cape to Cairo. They have that spirit in them. They want the wherewithal, the means of doing the job. Then the other half originated in Indo-Pakistan subcontinent. They also came there because they were starving, famines after famines in India, Pakistan, so they wanted to eke out a living. They went there to eke out a living. Poverty, poverty, abject poverty. They didn't go as businessmen, and they didn't go as missionaries. We were also under pressure, but alhamdulillah, the Muslims as the people as a whole, they survived. They didn't get lost in that ocean of kufr. We survived, and we have also come out to be a good Muslim community. Outwardly, salat, zakat, hajj, psalm, in that, all that, the South African Muslim is all right. He's all right. It's not too bad. But we didn't do dawah. Reason, I already gave you. Under slavery, as a slave, the poor Malay or Indonesian, we call them all Malays now, he couldn't have told his white taskmaster, his slave master, boss, sir, you know, you're going to go to hell. So why? He says, you know, the Quran says, لَقَدْ كَفَرَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّ اللَّهُ الْمَسِيحُ ابْنُ مَرْيَمَ. Anyone who says that Jesus Christ, the son of Mary, is God, is making kufr. It's an act of blasphemy, treason against Allah. وقال المسيح, but Christ said, يا بني إسرائيل, O children of Israel, لَعْبُدُ اللَّهِ, worship Allah. رَبِّي وَرَبُّكُمْ, who is my Lord and your Lord. إِنَّهُ مَنْ يُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ, whoever will associate anyone with Allah, فَقَدْ حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ لِلْجَنَّةِ, Allah will make Jannat haram for them. Heaven will be forbidden for them. وَمَأْوَاهُ النَّارِ, and the fire of hell will be their dwelling place. وَمَا لِلظَّالِمِينَ مِنْ أَنصَارٍ, and for the wrongdoers there will be no one to help. He dared not open his mouth. The guy would have smashed his jaw, killed him. What can he do as a slave? Can you speak to his masters? You can't. And we, poor beggars, come from India starving, eking out a living, we couldn't do the job. But today, alhamdulillah, out of these shackles of 300 years of oppression, what they call apartheid, keeping people apart, racially, this is the white man, he is supreme. Under him comes a colored, a mixture of black and white. They call them coloreds, separate. White man, separate. Colored, separate. Indian, separate. African, separate. Not allowed to mix. Apartheid, keeping people apart. They did it. And they created reservation, like the Americans do for the Indians. The Indian reservations, keep people all apart. Now, my president, de Klerk, he's just made a statement a month or so ago. He said, the book of apartheid is now closed. The book of apartheid, of keeping, that's the system, the philosophy of keeping all these different races apart, has now, that book has been closed. The oppression, the discrimination is now finished. So he said. But that doesn't change the heart and mind of people. It doesn't. By law, you can say, look, don't discriminate, but the heart can't change with that. You need a change of heart. And the only system, the system was to keep the people, different church, separate church. The African. they did one thing great. The white man, in enslaving people, gave him the Bible.